Pro Sports Podcast, and we are back. Look, I wanted to switch it up, make a different style of video for you guys. Hey, let's jump right into it, okay? Sunday started the NFL schedule, and it was loaded. No matter what player or team you're a fan of, I believe the NFL put together a great opening day schedule. I mean, we had everything. A not-so-grudge match between Baker Mayfield and his former team, the Cleveland Browns, which saw him lose at the last second to a game-winning 60-yard field goal by a rookie kicker. We also had the Trey Lance debut. We had the Eagles. Everybody wants to see how Jalen Hurts is going to play. We had Tom Brady back in action last night. We had the Dallas Cowboys playing. We want to see how Dak Prescott's going to look without Amari Cooper. But first of all, and most importantly, today I want to talk about a game that took place at 4 p.m. on Sunday, the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. Everyone around the league wondered how Aaron Rodgers would look without his star wide receiver, Davante Adams. He begins this season with two old heads, Sammy Watkins, who is trying to make a name for himself in the league again after a miserable last two seasons. It's hard to think that Sammy Watkins, once a notable collegiate athlete and a notable young receiver in the NFL, almost saw himself disappear from the league if it wasn't for a desperate Green Bay Packers offensive unit. Randall Cobb is this faithful, reliable receiver that the Packers brought back last year to make Aaron Rodgers happy. Other than that, all he has to work with are rookie receivers with potential and an Allen Lazard that seems to be going through a pretty rough injury patch in his young career. But at the age of 38, you wonder if Aaron Rodgers is just throwing away a season this year when it comes to winning. As a Packers fan, I truly wonder if he just wants to play with lower expectations, which makes sense seeing his postseason failures in recent years. I would like to think that Coach Matt LaFleur has thought of a new strategy to involve Aaron Jones, a young promising running back who is actually currently in his prime, and young running back A.J. Dillon in the game at the same time to offer dynamic formations and schemes. I didn't quite see a lot of that on Sunday. What you're not used to seeing is a dominant Vikings team that's on their P's and Q's on both sides of the field. Right from the opening drive, the Vikings showed us that not only do they have one of the best rosters in the league, but that they are going to be a team that we need to take serious going into the 2022-2023 season. Between Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, and an aging Adam Thielen, the Vikings have one of the most solid, complete offensive groups that I've seen them have in, almost my entire lifetime. Either the Vikings O-line did a spectacular job run blocking, or the Packers have some serious concerns up front. Dalvin Cook looks as healthy as ever and seems to hit all the right holes with the same explosiveness, the same suddenness, the same burst that he entered the league with. The Vikings' game plan of weakening the top of the Packers' defense seemed to be the obvious strategy at play. After Cook put together some impressive carries, the door was wide open for receiver Justin Jefferson, who was going to be a fantasy nightmare this season, believe me. He consistently broke free over the top of the Packers' zone coverage and also burnt Packers star defensive back Jair Alexander multiple times on deep routes, where he should have picked up Jefferson. This was shocking to me. I mean, this is a top 3 wide receiver, and you have to think you spend all week preparing for this guy. Jefferson broke loose for 9 catches and 184 yards yesterday, along with two touchdowns. Just for context, Jefferson pulled in 10 touchdowns all last season. I expect him to lead all receivers, especially if Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase can't get back on the previous season's form soon. When it comes to offense, overall, Aaron Rodgers looked overwhelmed with the Vikings defense, refusing to allow him to give confidence to his youthful receivers. Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins seem to have lost a step. They seem to have zero burst, zero release off the line, zero release speed, and they couldn't really create any separation throughout the whole game. LaFleur said after the game, a lot of our veterans, this isn't their first rodeo. This isn't the first time they suffered a defeat. But it's always interesting to see how young guys respond to a defeat or not playing your best. You've got to be critical, but at the same time, you've still got to put your arm around these guys because you want them confident. We never want to start a season down 0-2, Aaron Jones said after the game. So you've got to get it going. Got to get on the right side of that win column. North Dakota State draftee Christian Watson dropped what would have been a 75-yard touchdown, the first of his career, Rodgers seemed to go away from all the young guys after this and threw all short balls in the flats to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. It just wasn't working. I just know that this is a play I'm going to make 99 times out of 10, Watson said of his first NFL snap. I would have been 100 out of 100 if it was not for today. It's just a play that I know I can make, and going forward, I am going to make that play every single time. I don't know about you, but that's what you like to hear from a rookie or pretty much any player, any athlete, any person in this position. Sometimes starting your career like that is a tough thing to come back from. And I've seen players never really recover to reach that max potential. Just seeing how the young guy handled his business after the mistake. And you know, sometimes it's all about how much grace you have in these situations that helps you or enables you or empowers you to be better the next go round. The next time Aaron Rodgers throws that deep ball, you will be ready mentally. The entire time I watched this game, I felt like the Packers were the slower team, especially defensively. They got punched in the mouth very early and never really seemed to bounce back. I kind of liken this to a boxer getting dropped by a stiff jab in the early parts of a first round and never really getting his legs back under him. The Packers managed to get in the end zone just once, and that came late in the game. They barely got any first downs and clearly didn't spend too much time in field goal range for Mason Crosby to have any impact. Speaking of Crosby, he spent most of training camp sidelined due to a knee injury, and the Packers just recently took him off the physically unable list, like literally a few days ago. Overall, I worry for my Green Bay Packers. Mostly that Aaron Rodgers lacks the patience to groom these young guys. I look at guys like Valdez-Scantling, who the Green Bay Packers drafted a few years ago with such promise. He's 6'4", lightning speed, straight line speed. He's a deep threat that you have to pay attention to. He takes the top off of a zone. And I see him thriving elsewhere, and that just makes me shake my head with this belief that the only receiver I've seen drafted and groomed to superstar status is Devontae Adams. For some reason, this team and coaching staff just has never utilized Aaron Jones to his full potential for the sake of maybe Aaron Rodgers chasing the MVP trophy for the last 5 years. The offensive line has failed to stay healthy for a while now. And, you know, it's something to be said about David Bakhtiari, yo. We have to start talking about David Bakhtiari. Bro, where the f*** are you at, bro? Because I swear there was a year where he didn't play all season, most of the season. This is one of the highest paid linemen, highest touted linemen in the league, probably in league history. This guy is renowned. He's renowned for like something he's never had to do back to back years. It's just like this dude is supposed to be the best lineman. This dude is never on the field. Ask any Packers fan. Ask any Packers fan. Anybody that keeps up with the Packers, they'll tell you David Bakhtiari has stolen a lot of money from the Green Bay Packers. He's supposed to be one of the best O-linemen that the league has, and, you know, blocking for one of the best quarterbacks that the league has. The guy can't stay on the field. He can stay at Bucks games where he's drinking beers on the sideline, though. I did see that. And that was during a time where he obviously wasn't playing. He was obviously in street clothes. So that's something to be said. I guess the Green Bay Packers feel good about, paying him for not playing, but it's just crazy to me, man. You know, for some reason, they just never use Aaron Jones the way I feel like they could have. Like, I feel like Aaron Jones could have been an Alvin Kamara type of guy, but it's been so, like, after that first year of establishing Aaron Jones in the league, his talent in the league, it's just totally went away from him. There were times last season where he wasn't in the game the entire fourth quarter, and I'm like, what? I'm confused. What's going on? Whether he's a threat in the flats, a threat on single back, or having him in the slot. Like, I feel like Aaron Jones is a great running back who's never going to reach his potential, never going to be exactly who he could have been because of Aaron Rodgers chasing his MVP. Losing key defensive players in the offseason might go to prove that the Packers' best chance to win a Super Bowl was last season. Woo! Man, look, I can't take no more, man. This is my team, but we're tripping, bro. The Green Bay Packers are not looking good. I'm gonna just be real. The defense looks crazy, looks really bad, uncoordinated, not as well coached as in previous years. But look, if you like this content, let me know down in the comments. If you have any suggestions for another team I should cover, another game I should cover, let me know. More than willing to do it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you already haven't. And yeah, I'll holler back. Respect.